Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention over the last few weeks, you know that the NFC East is always a wild ride, but this time, things might be taking a dramatic turn. The buzz around the league is swirling about a potential blockbuster trade involving Baker Mayfield. And it's not just some rumor, it's coming from sources close to the league. And the whispers are loud enough to suggest that something significant could be on the horizon. And if it happens, it could reshape not just the division, but the entire playoff picture for the NFC. So here's what's being thrown around. And yes, it's still in the realm of speculation, but given the recent movements and strategic shifts in the league, it's worth a deep dive. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sitting at a 6-3 record and still in the playoff hunt, are apparently considering trading Baker Mayfield. Now Mayfield, the guy who's been called the resilient one for a reason, has been turning heads this season with his resurgence. With stats that include over 100 passing yards, a 68% completion rate, 15 touchdowns, and just 6 interceptions up to September 15th, Mayfield has proven that he's still got plenty left in the tank. His PFF grade of 95, and his selection to the Pro Bowl in 2023 only bolster his case as a legitimate starter. What makes this situation so intriguing is that Tampa is reportedly open to trading Mayfield in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. It's a bold move, but one that makes strategic sense for the Buccaneers. They're in a bit of a rebuild mode, especially on the offensive line. Tampa's focus right now is on rebuilding their offensive line with a $10 million cap post-trade, trying to give their offense a much-needed shake-up. Their offensive line has been inconsistent, averaging just 4.2 yards per carry and struggling to establish the run, which has limited Mayfield's effectiveness at times. Plus, their defense is leaking points, giving up around 22 points a game. So they're in a position where they're using the deadline after November 4th to gather draft picks, stockpile assets, and set up for a future rebuild. This strategy echoes what we saw with the Rams back in 2021, when they traded away Jared Goff and reset their roster, leading to a Super Bowl appearance. Tampa might be looking at a similar approach, especially with odds at plus 200 to make the playoffs, but their chances are still considered shaky by many analysts. They project a 9-8 finish, but the inconsistency on offense and their defensive leaks make that a tough call. They're not necessarily all in on this season. Rather, they're playing the long game, acquiring picks to develop their youth and build toward future success. Meanwhile, the Washington Commanders are sitting at 3-6, and while that record isn't what they envisioned at the start of the season, there's still a lot of potential for a turnaround. With Carson Wentz no longer in the picture after his season-ending injury and Sam Howell still developing, the team is actively seeking a bridge quarterback, and Mayfield could be that guy. He's not just a stopgap. He's proven that he can lead an offense effectively, especially when mentoring younger players. The current situation with Daniels out due to a torn elbow ligament, which could land him on IR, leaves the Commanders in need of stability at the quarterback position. Mayfield's experience, combined with his recent performances, makes him a tantalizing option. And speaking of his recent form, Mayfield has been playing some of the best football of his career. Through 2025, he's thrown for over 100 yards with a 68% completion rate, and his advanced stats show a quarterback who's not just throwing the ball but doing so efficiently under pressure. His EPA per play is at plus 0.12, and he's enhancing yards after catch by 4.8 yards per reception. He's also throwing with a very low drop rate of just 0.25%, which points to his accuracy and decision-making. When under pressure, Mayfield's release time averages just 19 seconds, and he completes 82% of his throws versus blitzes, a testament to his pocket presence and ability to handle pressure. In comparison, Geno Smith of the Seahawks, who has been on a mini breakout this season, has boosted his yardage by over 300 yards and maintained a 92% completion rate under duress. Mayfield's ability to excel in similar situations, especially with an on-target percentage of 78%, makes him a valuable asset for any team looking to stabilize their quarterback position. Advanced metrics reveal that Mayfield's turnover-worthy plays account for just 31%, and he's been able to force defenses into tough situations, reminiscent of the late prime of Tom Brady. If the trade goes through, the impact on Washington could be immediate. With Mayfield, the Commanders could project an increase of about 15% in red zone efficiency, similar to what we saw with Kirk Cousins during the Vikings' 2023 turnaround. His presence could elevate the team's chances of making a deep playoff push, especially if he's paired with the right offensive weapons. His contract, which is manageable at around $12 million post-McLaurin's quad injury, fits perfectly into their financial plans, giving them flexibility to build around him and other key players. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. If Mayfield joins Washington, it could be the spark the team needs to turn this season around. They're currently 3-6 but have shown flashes of potential. With a skill set that includes a 78% accuracy rate and an average of 7.2 yards per attempt, he can elevate the offense and help the team close out games. His leadership qualities and experience in high-pressure situations could be exactly what the team needs to rally and make a run in the second half of the season. The betting odds reflect this potential shift. If Mayfield comes to Washington, the chances of them making the Super Bowl could jump from +20-0 to +8-0, a huge boost that makes them a genuine wildcard contender. The wildcards are often decided by resilience and a bit of luck, but Mayfield's proven comeback ability and his knack for orchestrating late-game drives could give the Commanders that extra push they need to sneak into the postseason. This kind of move would be a clear signal that Washington is all in on trying to accelerate their rebuild, aiming to capitalize on the talent they have and add a seasoned quarterback to guide the ship. Of course, there are skeptics. The Buccaneers aren't just giving away Mayfield for fun. They're betting on their young offensive line and hoping to develop their future at quarterback with Kyle Trask. They see Mayfield as a temporary solution, a bridge to a rebuild that might take a couple of years. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl at +5-0 reflect the uncertainty, but for Tampa, it's all about stockpiling picks and setting up for a brighter future. But for Washington, this potential trade could be a game-changer. Imagine Mayfield, with his experience and his recent form, stepping in and immediately boosting the offense. His ability to complete 78% of his passes and maintain an average of 7.2 yards per attempt would be a huge upgrade from what they've seen recently. Plus, his leadership and calm under pressure could inspire the entire team, especially with the recent injuries and struggles at the quarterback position. Washington's offense could finally find consistency, and the defense, which has been playing well at times, could benefit from the added momentum. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, it could set the stage for a rapid rebuild in Washington. The team could potentially climb from their current 3-6 record to 7-10 or even better, depending on how quickly Mayfield can gel with the offense. The NFC East has always been a battleground, but with a competent quarterback, the Commanders could make a real push to contend for the division title, especially if they manage to beat the Eagles in their upcoming matchups. The division is wide open, and with the right leadership, Washington could turn their season around, making a playoff push that surprises many. And then there's the long-term vision. If Mayfield proves he's the right fit, the Commanders might even consider extending him, building their offense around his skill set, much like what the Vikings did with Cousins in recent years. His proven ability to orchestrate comebacks and perform in clutch moments makes him an ideal candidate to lead the team into the next chapter. The NFL is all about timing and opportunity, and right now, this could be the window Washington needs to accelerate their rebuild and set up for sustained success. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the trade actually happens. The league is buzzing, and the NFL deadline is approaching fast, so we'll be watching closely. But if it does go down, it's going to be a major storyline, one that could define the NFC East for the next few years. The Commanders, with their talented roster and now a potential new leader under center, could be on the verge of something special. It's an exciting time for Washington fans, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So fans, what do you think about this potential move? Is Baker Mayfield the missing piece for Washington to finally turn this season around? Do you believe he can elevate the team into playoff contention and maybe even beyond? Or are you skeptical about the risk involved in trading for a guy who's been through so much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This season is far from over, and with moves like this, we could see a new chapter begin very soon. Let's keep the faith, stay loud, and support our team no matter what. Washington Commanders, we rise together.